evening and welcome to another exciting, educative episode of Real Talk here at the studios of Hope TV Ghana. My name is Evie, your usual host for the show. Today we have a very interesting conversation to discuss. It is one that's, some call it controversial, it can be dicey, but then at the end of the day, it is a very important topic because personally, this is one of the topical issues trending on social media. And you have people giving it hashtags, is the topic of DNA testing. So you have men saying that it has become very imperative for them to DNA test all their children because according to a DNA expert on social media, 3 out of 10 men are not the biological father of the children they're raising, and they do not know about this. And so it has become a thing where they are requesting that DNA testing should be added to the 6 killer diseases that you usually test your children or vaccinate your children against when you have them. And is that so? Is this really what the problem is? And if it is so, where is our society going? Are men raising children that are not theirs without knowing that? Are women lying to their husbands, partners, that the children belong to them when in actual fact they do not? Should DNA testing become mandatory? We are going to have the conversation. We have a story on the table. But before we do that, I'd like to remind you that we are live on Facebook and YouTube, Hope TV Ghana. So please, we want the conversation to be very interactive. So make sure you go onto our platforms, leave your comments, your thoughts of what you think of this conversation as we discuss the story. Let me go straight ahead and introduce my guests to you. As usual, we find you the right people to have the right conversation, people that are willing to talk the truth and not mince words. I am going to start by the lady on my far right, Madam Apau Manison. She's a licensed professional counselor. Good evening, Madam Esther.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
Fine.
It's good to have you on Real Talk.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're looking very beautiful today.
Thank you. How are you too?
I'm fine, thank you. And we have Dennis. Dennis is not a stranger on the show. He's been on before. Dennis Sechi Opoku. He is a biochemist, and today we are going to have the conversation on DNA testing with Dennis. Dennis, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah, it's good to have you back in the studio. So you are ready? Yes. You are going to mature your voice for me. You are going to talk to the men out there for me. So counselor is going to help us all understand some of the consequences of these issues and also speak to our women out there on this topic. So let me go straight ahead and read our story to you, then we can delve into the conversation. So this story is titled, Who was the father all along? So who was the father all along? Dear Real Talk, we met just 2 years ago. I was preparing to take up an assignment at a diplomatic office in Turkey, but in those short 2 years, I fell deeply in love with her. She seemed grounded, kind, and strong in everything. She seemed like she was the one I wanted in life, everything I wanted in a life partner. So I proposed and we got married. After the wedding, I stayed in the country for about 3 weeks. Then I returned to Turkey to begin my duties. 2 months after I left, she called with joy in her voice. She was pregnant. I was overjoyed. It felt like everything was falling into place. A loving wife, and now a child to complete our new family. Though I was far away, I was present. I supported her through the pregnancy, sent money regularly, and made sure she had all she needed. A beautiful baby girl was born, and even from Turkey, I celebrated her like she was the crown jewel of my life. 6 years later, after a change of government, I was able to take a 1-year study leave and return home. That year felt like a blessing. I was finally around to be a full-time father, taking her to school, picking her up, attending PTA meetings, and enjoying the little moments I had missed. Then something changed. Every time I went to pick her up, I noticed a man around the school. He would talk to my daughter, bring her snacks, make her laugh. She called him uncle, and I assumed he was a teacher at the school or a school staff. He seemed friendly and harmless. I even felt grateful someone else was looking out for her while I had been away. But one day, I overheard two female teachers whispering to him just outside the staff office. "You have to come early before he gets here," one said. "He's always on time. One day, he'll figure it out," the other replied. I froze. They were talking about me. I didn't react. I waited, picked up my daughter, and went home. But the thoughts would not leave me alone. Who was this man? At the next PTA meeting, everything came crashing down. The moment my wife entered the hall and saw him sitting there, her entire body language changed. Her face froze. Her steps faltered. My heart knew something was wrong. Suspicion pushed me to act. I quietly took strands of my daughter's hair from her brush. I sent it off for a DNA test alongside mine. 2 weeks later, the results came back. 0% probability of paternity. I was not her biological father. I confronted my wife. At first, she denied everything, cried, said I was imagining things. But when I showed her the results, she broke down completely. She admitted the truth. Yes, the man from school was the biological father. Yes, they had been dating before we got married. And yes, even after our marriage, she met him once. That's when the pregnancy happened. A family meeting was held. Her parents begged me to forgive. They said the child only knows you. You are her real father. Now I sit here, broken and torn. Do I forgive her for lying to me for 6 years? Do I stay knowing I was a placeholder? This is a very sad story because the man has believed a lie for 6 years. And clearly you can see that he's torn and he doesn't know what to do. Let me start with you, Madam Esther. You just heard this story. What is running through your mind?
It's very, very heartbreaking. See, just married.
Yeah.
Yes, you have been in the marriage for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Now you decide to leave. And married for 3 weeks, see how beautiful it is with all the joyous moments, the moods and all those kind. You see that time becomes beautiful.
Yeah.
Even considering your honeymoon.
Yeah.
And all those things that you do, the fondly and the petting and all those things. Now it's beautiful. You traveled outside just because of work. And then you are there, you hear that, my wife is pregnant.
Yeah.
See that also, the joy that comes into being. Hey, I'm going to be a father. Oh, I'm happy. And all that. Then you return, you come back to detect that, oh, so all that was running through me was just a lie. It's really heartbreaking. So this man needs to forgive. Forgive so that you are healed. You know, if you forgive, the pain that you were enduring, it takes away. So for you to be healed, you need to forgive. The man needs to forgive the wife so that you can continue. He's also married. And you know, you say that it's a lifelong issue. Yeah. Something. So you need to forgive and carry on.
Okay. But Esther thinks he needs to forgive before you go into healing and all that. Dennis, what is your general take on this story?
I think my first impression would be like sympathy.
Okay.
For the man. Yeah, and I'll have to contradict it. What Counselor said.
Okay, you'd have to give me more volume in your voice so we can clearly hear.
The man has to forgive the wife and also forgive himself for even putting himself in such a situation in the first place. So forgiveness is the first step. But where I'll contradict with Counselor is the part where he continues.
He continues. So, okay. Okay, it's good that we have differing opinions on this conversation. But before we go into the social and then emotional part of the conversation, Dennis, you being a biochemist, just in layman's language, what is DNA testing?
Okay, so DNA testing, just as we have unique fingerprints.
Okay.
So when you take your phone and you register your fingerprints, it's only your finger that unlocks it.
Yeah.
Because your there's a pattern on your finger that is unique, and it's unique for each individual.
Even twins?
Yes, even twins.
Okay.
Each person's fingerprint, their iris is different.
Okay.
It's the same way for DNA. So the DNA is, let me say, a memory card in our system.
Okay.
That stores every information that decides how we are formed and how we behave, like is the being of our existence. So since DNA is unique for each individual, we can use it to assess or to identify an individual. But the good thing about DNA is that it is formed from two parents, so the father and the mother. So you are a product of DNA from your mom and from what? Your dad.
Yes.
But your DNA, even though you're a product of two DNAs, yours will be unique to what? Your mom, and it will be unique to your dad. But there's a similarity.
Okay.
That is where the DNA testing comes in. So offsprings bear a similarity, a degree or percentage of similarity to their parents' DNA.
Okay.
And most of the times it's over 90% similarity. So we take the offspring's DNA, maybe a hair strand, and DNA is present in any cell. Okay. So you can take any cell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and test it, but mostly people take hair or maybe fingernails or something.
Okay.
So we test it and we see how similar is the child's DNA composition to maybe the father or what? The mother. If there's a 90% similarity, then we make the conclusion based on evidence, scientific evidence, that okay, this is your offspring. If it's not, then it's not your offspring.
Okay. So if there is relation, so does that mean that my DNA with my father or my mother will be in a higher percentile?
Yes.
And then my siblings will be, is there a lower percentile, but it shows that we are siblings?
So it's true, and that's why we used to trace ancestry.
Okay.
So sometimes you hear that maybe someone is in America and they've traced the ancestry to maybe Ghana.
Yes.
Every race, if you take even a race, maybe the black race or the Ashantis, all Ashantis will bear a DNA similarity to a certain extent.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because DNA is like progenitor. So we pass it from generation or from offspring to offspring. So if you take a pool of people, you have a similarity, a degree of similarity within that DNA. Yeah. So
okay. So that will give you an idea that
so you see that when you do, ideally or usually when you do a DNA testing with your siblings, it will have a higher similarity than maybe you doing it with your distant cousin.
Yeah, or an uncle or something.
An uncle or something.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But let me chip this in.
Okay.
DNA sometimes can lead to misleading results. Yes.
Okay.
So let me emphasize on that. It's a science, and sometimes there are errors and there are misleading data, in the sense that there can be situations where a child's DNA will bear no semblance to the mother or the father.
Really?
Yes, and it is their child.
How would they know it is their child if the DNA test?
So there's something called chimera.
Okay.
So chimera is a situation where an offspring has two different sets of like DNA sequences. So if we test that DNA to the parent, there will be no similarity. So there will be a low similarity, and that person will fail. It mostly happens when during pregnancy, maybe you are pregnant with twins, and one twin engulfs the other twin. Oh. Yeah. People say that it's.
Yeah, I have come across where they said, oh, there's a thing here, I absorbed my twin. But they come out as one child.
Yeah, one child. So in such cases, DNA can lead to misleading results. And sometimes even the parents, if the parent would happen to also be a chimera, so assuming you were also a twin and you engulfed your other twin, you also possess two sets of what? DNA. So it can be possible that when you are giving birth, the DNA you'll be passing to your offspring is the other DNA of that your twin you
sister engulfed. That did not exist after.
So when they test for a DNA, your child will have a similarity with that your twin.
Who is not alive, clearly.
Like, you don't even know he or she existed. Yeah. And you'll be thinking that maybe it's not your kid or something. So there are nuances and dynamics to it, but generally it's pretty accurate, but then we need to tread it cautiously also.
I mean, how rare or how
very
common?
Rare.
Okay.
Very rare.
It's very rare.
Yeah, but then we also need to, and sometimes there's even switching at the hospital.
Yes, we've seen
So somebody will be
like
okay, the father will just get up, I'm going to do a dinner. The moment the person does it and it's false, it's negative, they'll be like, oh, my wife cheated.
Yeah, but that's,
sometimes you have to confer with a maternity test also.
Exactly, to make sure it's the mother.
It's the mother. It's the mother, then probably can drive to that conclusion. But just based on maybe the maternity or paternity test to decide that this is not that, can also lead to misleading.
So you're saying that we should be careful how we jump into conclusions. But if the DNA testing doesn't show, so one of the ways, let's say we are talking about this, you said chimera?
Yeah, chimera.
Chimera. So what is the other way to make sure that this child is our child?
So maybe in a chimera situation, we take the dice DNA, we have to do maybe advanced research on it, because on the surface
you won't see
it. So if that is the case, maybe we'll do, and it's the mother, and the mother will be like, can swear heaven and earth that she hasn't cheated and nothing of sort. So if in such a case, maybe the mother can take extra steps for them to actually research and diagnose or examine the dice DNA very well, and then we can identify some of these patterns and maybe come to these conclusions. But this is very rare.
This is very rare, and that is when you know for a fact as the mother that you did not cheat on your husband. So you go the extra length to make sure that this is your child.
Please, a disclaimer. Please, no one should go and use, no lady should use this camera as an excuse.
It's good you have said that.
Do not do that. Do not do that. Jesus is watching you. Don't do that. But coming back to our story, I'll come to you, Madam Esther, and I'll ask. When Dennis was talking, he said that the man should also forgive himself for putting himself in such a situation. That brought a question to my mind regarding knowing somebody. Do you think you can ever know somebody to an extent where you say that, oh, this person will not do this and this person cannot do this, and so I am going in knowing for a fact that I have married this sort of woman? Is that even possible?
Yeah, you cannot complete knowing someone that, okay, I'm using this period or this time to know you. It is not like that. Maybe ideally, before marriage, we say that maybe 6 months, but you cannot complete, as I said, you not, let me say, finish knowing someone. Yes, because sometimes as you move together, there are some characters, behavior that we will see. Others, sometimes too, there are some secrets that a person will conceal and will not reveal it until you come together and you continue with the journey, with whatever you are doing. Before, at a point in time, that person will reveal that secret or will portray or exhibit that character. So with our life challenges and our life journey, you would not completely know someone. It depends on the situation. The situation that will come in, that will set, will let you know that this is how the person is. Whether the person is telling the truth or not. So should I believe, should I trust or not to trust? So
it's good that you mentioned trust, because that was my next question to you. And we hear that marriage is built on trust. It's built on love. And clearly from this story, it's broke the trust.
There's no trust. Exactly.
So do you think this marriage can survive? Because you're saying that, oh, he should forgive her and they should heal. In a situation where trust is completely broken, and this okay, they'll say all lies are lies, but this is a form of lie that is quite huge. Can they survive this?
It's not easy, because as you said, trust has been broken. Trust has been broken, but let's consider love too and see if there is love. If there is love on the part of the man or both sides, you can continue. You know, we say that love covers multitude of sin. So if there is love, you continue. And then trust sometimes is difficult to get it back if it is broken. This man once said, Christopher Paulina said, trust is like a sticker. When it is applied once, it can be removed, and once removed, it becomes very difficult to stick again. You know how stick is. So when trust is broken, it becomes very difficult to take that again. But as I said, it's based on love. If there is love and true love, and you can take it and then you move on. Continue.
Dennis, I saw you laughing and shaking your head. What is going through your mind?
Okay, so let me start from let me add up to what
yes.
said.
Yeah.
So about the topic of knowing somebody or how long it takes to know somebody. Even if you ask Prophet Jeremiah, he will tell you that you can never know the heart because the heart is deceitful and utterly wicked. So no one can even claim to even know the heart. And there's a Danish philosopher or theologist, Soros. He was of the opinion that humans, our characters are developmental. So we meet people in phases or in progress of their character development. And that character development will continue until their last breath on this earth.
Okay.
So I've met you today. You are in progress of your character development. What I'm seeing today will not be you in maybe a year or two. So the idea of knowing somebody is an illusion.
It's an illusion?
Yeah, it's something we tell ourselves to pat ourselves on the back.
So we can never know.
You cannot know, as you said, yes.
Can I even know myself?
No, because most people also lack self-awareness and self-introspection. Most people, actually this came as a surprise to me because I realized that most people don't even sit down to self-reflect on their being. Yeah, so there are a lot of people that don't even know what they are about or even what they are capable of until they've done it. Because they lack that self-awareness. Now back to the issue of the man forgiving
the trust, if they can be rebuilt.
The highest form of love is self-love.
Okay.
That is my belief.
Okay.
You can never love anybody if you don't love yourself.
If you don't love yourself, it's
so you want to forgive. Yes, you need to forgive because holding on to that grudge or that pain only poisons your heart and your soul.
Yeah,
so you need to forgive. And I made a statement that he needs to forgive himself in the first place for putting himself in that situation is because whenever we are presented with such situations, the moment you own it up, it becomes easier for you to get over it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and also, there's some part on his end because most of the times when in the story, you see that he be like, he had an idealized version of the woman he wanted to marry or settle down. And it's often the case in so many relationships. We mostly do it. So I want to marry a woman that is meek. I want to marry a Proverbs 31 lady. I want to do this. I want to do this. So the moment we meet a lady that is our spec, we project those values and virtues onto her automatically.
Even when she's not.
Even when she's not.
Even she's in a Proverbs 29.
Yeah.
So, and it happens quite often and a lot of times. And another instance is that if I meet a lady or a guy and they exhibit any good virtue, oh, she's religious, he's meek, he's calm and all, we project all other good virtues on them also. But you can meet somebody that is so kind and meek, but sorry to say, the person might be a Casanova, maybe a harlot. It happens. So he needs to forgive himself for that. And as to forgiving the lady, I think later on we'll talk about that. That is
his very good.
Yeah, so to add, as you're saying, he needs to forgive himself and then forgive. Actually, me, I'm standing on the fact that you need to forgive because it's marriage. Unless you otherwise doing courtship or you are just dating and courting and you identify that red flag, so you decide to leave, you quit.
Okay.
You don't like it. Okay. A day before the wedding, you can quit if you identify something that you don't like. But the fact that you are in it now, you are married, and you have gone to say your vows and all that, so they do a part. Things happen in life. That is not by your making sometimes. Yeah. So when it happens, you need to forgive and move on, carry on.
So we can see the perspective of Counselor and clearly the perspective of Dennis. And Counselor is trying to create the middle ground where she believes that with forgiveness, you can always move on and rebuild your relationship. But I'm thinking that Dennis is coming from the guy's perspective and he's looking at it, it's like, nah, this one, yeah, no. We'd have to go for a commercial break. When we come back, we'd have more discussion on the conversation. Do not go anywhere. This is Real Talk. We'll be right back.
In northern Ghana, thousands lack the medical care they need daily. But this August, hope is coming. From August 2nd to 9th, the Healing Hearts Health Mission is coming to Tamale, and it's free. General surgeries, eye operations, dental treatments, hepatitis B screening, and more. This is a mission of healing and hope, but we can't do it without you. We are calling on sponsors, volunteers, and kind hearts to help us serve. To be a part of this powerful outreach, call 0249 193 083 or send Momo to 0249 193 083. The Healing Hearts Medical Mission is brought to you by Hope Channel Ghana in partnership with United Service to Africa, the Liver Cancer Foundation, Ghana Adventist Health Service, and the Adventist Church. Hope starts here.
Hello and welcome to Watch These Signs only on Hope Channel Ghana.
Like in the book of Macbeth, it said, be the innocent flower, but the serpent underneath it.
And here the Bible says Satan is disguised as an angel of light. So we hear, oh, Jesus, Jesus. So you think that because they are mentioning Jesus,
you might think that is Jesus.
That is, you found Christianity.
You are in the den of Satan. Because of what is happening in the world today, the wildfire of occultism is spreading. That is why reigns of ministers are becoming very, very, very controversial, and yet people are using it. The source is not from the Bible.
This show Bible discussion is not just for people who profess Christianity, but for all of us.
Welcome back from that commercial break. We are still in the studios of Hope TV Ghana, coming your way with Real Talk. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, so please join the conversation by leaving your comments, your thoughts under our comment section. I have been having this conversation with the certified licensed professional counselor Esther Apau Manison and Dennis Sechi Opoku, biochemist. If you just joined us, we are talking about DNA testing. And the story is a sad one. A man marries his wife, has to leave the country 2 months after the wife calls and says, I'm pregnant. They are happy. He's in Turkey, she's in Ghana, but he's supportive. He sends money. He comes back for a 1-year leave of absence. And now the baby is 6 years. He starts taking active role of being a father, taking the child to school and all that, only for him to go to the school one day and realize that there's a gentleman who is very interested in the child's upkeep, bringing her gifts, talking to her. Long story short, he finds out that that gentleman is actually the biological father of the child that he has always thought was his. He does a DNA testing. It comes out that that is the case. The wife is apologizing and begging. Family is saying, forgive her and move on. And we have been having the conversation, a very interesting one. You should have been here when we went offline about the Inside Caucus meeting that was happening between Counselor and Dennis. But let me go ahead and then ask Dennis a question for you. You know, when pregnancy happens, it's usually very celebratory. Everybody's happy. It's very rare to find a situation where there's, unless of course you are doing an away match and you get pregnant, now you are never happy. But in the institution of marriage, pregnancy is a blessing. We are all looking forward to it, right? But when you realize that the person, this child that you have bonded with, he loves her, he's happy to be back, only to find out that they are not your biological child. What do you think this man is going through, honestly?
The moment he realizes that, he will question his entire existence.
Oh, Charlie.
So, this is a child and a mother that is his world.
Yes.
And before I even proceed with the actual question, let's see a man's nature, like naturally and biologically. Evolutionary, we are made to serve as providers and protectors.
Yeah.
That is our nature. All the things we do as men is down to this fundamental nature of ours. So whenever we marry a lady, there's a kid, we assume a protective role, and our entire existence is like, our entire purpose is to see to the survival and the upkeep of these people. That's our family.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say that this child and the mother is the epicenter of this man's life. Now, the child is not his. I can only sympathize because I can't even imagine what is going through his head.
True.
So when with such a level of mistrust or lie, he can even go insane in the sense that the brain, our brain is a very fascinating machine. So let me go into a bit of science here. When you meet somebody, trust in this world is everything. Yeah. Trust is the most important thing when it comes to social interaction with humans. Trust is more important than love. And this is why your brain's primary function in this world is to see to your survival. When you learn science, you'll be like, you hear things like, your brain does this, your brain does this. Or everything that your brain does can be reduced to the simple function of trying to ensure what? Your survival. How does it ensure your survival? It takes cues from your environment and it makes informed decisions subconsciously. So you see many philosophers are giving and scientists are giving about free will. Yeah. Because sometimes consciously, before you think you are consciously taking a decision, subconsciously that decision has already been taken for you. Based on cues your mind has assimilated. So when it comes to human interaction, your sense of mind is trying to see to protect you. It tries to ascertain and assess whether the interaction or the relationship you are going to, whether it's good and it will help you, if to be lead to a positive outcome. If that is the case, then it gives you motivation. So it produces oxytocin. Yeah. They'll be like, oh, I'm in love. Yeah, the feel-good hormone. Dopamine. Yeah. Yes, I mean, you have butterflies in your tummy. It's all chemicals. I believe so, because butterflies can clearly not be. So the brain wires itself to that person. So since oxytocin and dopamine are feel-good or reward hormones, the woman, in this case, the man's wife, and the child is a stimulus to him. So anytime he thinks about them or the brain perceives them or gets that stimulus, it gets happy. Oh. And it rewards you because it leads to a positive outcome. So the brain has wired itself to these people. One thing the brain is doing is rewiring itself because it's so difficult and it takes so much energy. And just as I said, it's trying to ensure your survival, which means that it's managing your energy states also. The brain is rewiring itself. There are several neurons because sometimes it's near impossible. So when he realized that, or when he finds out that the child is not his, every information that his brain has stored up until this point, the brain goes into panic mode. Because like, what is true? What is real? Your life is at risk. Everything that the person has told you, is it true or not? Then you're going to betrayal trauma. And I think counselor is very well aware of that. So it's actually a trauma you feel when like you are betrayed because your mind has gone into panic mode. So this man, for instance, at that moment, it will be like waking up, dreaming, and in that dream, you live a full life, then you woke up and none of it exists. It's real. That is exactly how he'll be feeling. And he's literally traumatized, and he'll be traumatized. Yeah. And it's God.
Yeah. So that is why you have to side with me that you need to forgive, because as you said, 6 years. You know, I can lie to you. I can lie to you and go like, oh, you ask me, Evie, did you eat the chicken? I'm like, oh, mommy, I didn't eat it. I didn't eat it. That is okay. Then you realize that for 6 years,
have been lying to you on something so important. Because, like, okay, you have to explain to us how he can actively get himself in a position to start forgiving his wife. And can he love the child? I don't even know.
Yes, you know, as you were saying something that at a point in time you get bonded.
Yes,
you see,
yes.
With the child and all those things.
Yes.
So that bonding is there. So you need to continue with that. That is where you actually first forgive yourself and realize that, hey, this is the child. Well, detecting or knowing that this is not my child, it becomes difficult to accept him again. But when love sets in and then forgiveness sets in, if you like it, you take. That is your personal choice to make that informed decision that I want to carry on with this or not. Do you get it? So you can forgive and then carry on, as I'm just saying it like that. Because of all these factors, these things that we are seeing, the bonding is still there. The bonding is still there. So you are the only person that this child knows.
True.
Yeah. So what do you do?
But you see, the child also knows uncle.
Uncle, yeah.
And uncle has been positioning himself as the good one. And even the school, the two staff knew who uncle was. So he feels like everybody around him has been lying to him, his wife. And he's looking at this beautiful daughter that he clearly loves so much. And if he's even supposed to, he even says, you know what, I love my wife and I love this child so much and I'm going to hold on to them. What about the role of uncle? What if uncle says
the child knows the uncle?
He wants, like, what's it called, rights over the child.
The child knows the uncle, but here is the case that the child also has been introduced to you that this is my father.
That's
you are the daddy. So the daddy stamps also get into your mind, and then or gets into the child's mind and that behavior. Let me go to church, daddy, because it's different from being a father and then an uncle. Knowing you to be my uncle, of course you are not my father. Though for children, they know that you've been giving me this. Oh, then this man is good as an uncle. But for daddy or for a father, it's different from any other person.
True, true. I mean, but what if uncle says, I'm coming for my child? What would daddy do?
Okay, then that's where we can find out that, hey, then let me investigate why I'm the father. Now, I know that I'm the father. He's calling me daddy. And somebody is also claiming.
Yes.
Hey. So there's...
But daddy, father, uncle will have rights according to the law since he's biologically the father of the baby girl, right? So in that case, where does father end up? He can lose rights to the child, can't he? This whole situation is just
so the child knows him as uncle. True. And then, yes, the child knows him as uncle, not the daddy. So until all these things come into being, as we said, DNA, and then that is where the truth is revealed. And then you know that, oh, this is how it is. Then you have to tell the child that this is your father. The child knows him as uncle. Just know that. But then daddy too is here. So it's the daddy that wants to know that, is it real my child?
And now it's not your child.
So what do you do? And you are in it, you are married.
Yeah.
So it's your personal decision to make that choice.
Dennis, you look like you have a lot to say.
When a woman is going through abuse in a relationship, or this is marriage, you are often quick to use the word marriage, which is a sacred vow ordained by God.
Yeah.
God said, do not put asunder to what he has blessed. But in this marriage, what exactly did God bless? The seed.
Oh, because the woman was
exactly the
sleeping.
foundation of this. And if you analyze the story carefully, everything points to the fact that the lady was having an affair with the ex.
While they were dating.
While they were dating, and even after they married.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
This is not a mistake. This is something that she did full-chested. So this is the sacredness of marriage that we would have maybe defended or used it to say they should stay together. It is not there because in the first place, the marriage, the vows were pronounced on the seed. God doesn't bless the seed. So this is not, that the married will not show these people. Secondly, Council also made mention of love. You are connected. You are doing. The brain doesn't do anything for fun, or we don't. Everything in life, when it comes to love, human love, is conditional. Why do you think the man loves the kid? Because he thinks it's his.
Okay.
That the amount of love he will give to that kid will be different from the amount of love he will give to his
kid that is not
a
his.
kid that is not his, or even his sibling's kid.
Nephew or niece.
You see that? And he loves the mother or the wife because he thought, he had an idea that he was the only one that had access to what? To the woman. And your brain will encourage you to go and love the person. But here, these conditions are no more in existence. So what is the motivation? And that is why...
Couldn't he have built enough love storage to carry them through?
No. It doesn't work that way.
So you said no.
It doesn't work that way in the sense that, just as I said, there's a condition to what you are giving. Anything that you are doing subconsciously, your mind is analyzing it as to whether it will lead to a positive or a negative outcome. So right now, you've been betrayed. Your mind will be telling that, okay, my wife has lied about this. She's done this, she's done this, she's done this. What is the possibility that anything she says afterwards, or even me being with her, will lead to any positive outcome, in the sense that right now you need to make informed decisions, and since she's your wife, most of the decisions you'll be making will come from information that she'll be giving you. Can you trust this information? So you see that your brain will throw you into a conflict, a turmoil.
You always be thinking,
and people will be like,
lie.
my heart is saying this, and my bro, stop the heart. And
but they always cancel each other out.
Yes, because it's not really the heart and the mind. It's your subconscious and your consciousness
fighting
against each other, because your subconscious is mostly rational. It doesn't care about what you are feeling.
Yeah.
It's looking for like your utmost survival, the best for you. But you consciously, maybe you are seeing certain things, and probably you are it's influencing your decision. So there can be forgiveness. There must be forgiveness. But why would we even advise this man to continue in this marriage? Let's look at the demerits. First of all, there's a kid that reminds you of your wife's infidelity for 6 good years. Why would anyone want to put themselves to such torture? When you wake up every morning and you see the evidence of your greatest heartbreak. No. Don't you love yourself enough? And mind you, someone might be thinking that, okay, but the kid is not an orphan.
There's an uncle.
Yeah, there's an uncle. And even if there was no uncle, there's the mother. You can't eat your cake and have it.
True.
So forget about the kid and think about yourself in this circumstance. And the mother. Even the mother. There is no way I will advise the mother to stay in the marriage.
Okay.
I'm one person that is of the opinion that if you cheat in a relationship, even a marriage, and you are caught, gracefully walk away. Don't listen to anything the guy tells you. He's lying. He can never forgive you. Infidelity is so difficult for guys to forgive because, as I said earlier, we have this protective mindset. So our senses against certain cues is heightened. So the least sense of betrayal, you see that your trauma system is on high alert. So it doesn't allow you to effectively even get back to the former state you were in. So you'll be like, you the lady, you'll be walking on eggshells. Any small thing that you do serves as a trigger. Who are you talking to? Where are you coming from? This.
Yeah.
Anything, any small thing.
And he'll even remind you all the time.
They'll rub it in your face. He'll be like, okay, I forgive, but no, he hasn't forgiven. He can't. It is not in his nature to forgive, because the mind, he doesn't even know it, but his mind will never allow him to forgive you, because the mind deems you, the wife, as danger. So for peace to prevail,
everybody should go their way.
Everybody should go their way. From the look of the story, they are both quite young.
Yeah.
Let me assume that.
Yeah.
You, the man, you get over it. Time heals most wounds. You never go back to your former state. All right, but you'll be healed enough to carry on.
Yes, yes.
So it is better than be in a situation where it has been proven time and time again that it never works out. Whenever there's infidelity and one partner, especially the man, chooses to stay, it never works out. He can never let it go. He will torment you, the lady, for the rest of your life.
Your life.
And you can't say anything because like you are the originator of all of this.
Yeah.
So you'll be like, and you're dying.
Yeah.
You can't go. You can't come.
And living your life on one mistake. Just misery is not necessarily worth it.
Ideally, everybody should go.
Everybody should go.
And it's very evident that this wife, the wife in question here, is very much in love with the ex.
That's what I wanted counselor to speak on. Women that entertain exes. You know what, I hear things when a partner is not very comfortable with an ex around you, or even a male friend around you, and he comes out to say, I'm not very comfortable with this relationship, I would be happy if you put an end to it. Or even a wife telling a husband there's a woman. I always hear this fascinating thing of, I don't have to be an enemy with my ex. My ex doesn't have to be an enemy. There's nothing going on.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to me because it's not even being enemies with your ex. Your partner is clearly communicating that this is worrying me.
Yes.
I am not okay with it. What is the benefit of the relationship with the ex so much that you want to keep it at the detriment of your marriage?
Yeah.
With exes. It busts my mind. I don't get it.
Yeah, yeah. Lots of exes are also breaking up marriages. Yes, you know, when you start dating and sometimes they get very close. If I say close, I mean close. That bonding gets sets in. So I don't like you again. Whatever happens and you decided not to get married. But initially you have had that bonding, so that thing is still there. Now I don't like you again, and then the person leaves and gets a new one. And then that is where you realize that, hey, then this one was good. So it comes again and says that, oh, let's move on. And then you also allow the person, forgetting that you are married. So exes that are coming in when they realize that they are married, they should leave them. Because the moment you get in or you come close to the person that you dated before, that bonding just gets in again. And then if you don't take care, you go and have that, and you become pregnant. So these things are happening. I want to tell exes that they should just leave their ex alone. They should leave their ladies or their guys alone and let them focus on their marriages. Because if you wanted him or her, you would have continued with the relationship and get into marriage. But whatever happened, you didn't like the person. That is why you left the person or allowed her to go.
What has happened?
Now you are coming in to spoil someone's marriage, to break someone's marriage. So that is another, and it is happening. It is happening when you look at the figures. Most of this marriage breaking down is also from exes. As you said, sometimes you see that, oh, now I see the person and we dated before. I knew him some time ago and he's here. If I get close to him, there's nothing wrong about that. But if you want to get close, I mean, you should set boundaries. You can set boundaries that, hey, we were there, but now I'm not yours.
I mean,
I'm not yours.
Nobody's saying you should be fighting, but you can be cordial. When you meet them, higher.
I'm not yours. So that kind of thing that we were doing or we did before is over. It's
I don't know why it's difficult.
So that you can carry on with your new relationship. That is it.
I hope we've heard out there. It's like you have something to say before I go to my next question.
Alternating perspective to this exes.
That exes should be getting closer to
I don't think the ex got closer to the lady.
Oh, for this conversation.
Yeah, in this story. How I see it is that the lady was with the ex.
So there was no separating.
They were still there. They were there, and probably this new guy came along. It's something that really happens a lot. The lady assesses the guy. This guy is a potential good husband. He's doing well for himself, for marriage. And because there's that societal pressure for her to get married, instead of her to choose one, either stick with the ex, and see how it goes. or do everything so that she gets married to the ex, which clearly she's in love with or has affection with. No. This new guy, I don't want the person to go because they have probably everything set.
So she wants to eat her cake and have it.
So this is greed.
Yeah, I was just about to
I
say.
see this
Such a greedy
story.
person.
Yeah, I see the story from that perspective of the lady being greedy
and selfish.
So I feel like she played both of them.
She played the ex. The ex was not played though. You are getting something for free. How is that playing?
So the reason why I'm saying both of them got played that, what to give the ex that temerity to show up at the child's school, even when he was in the known that the man was in.
Could we blame this on long distance relationship?
No, not in this case.
Why not? Because the man was in Turkey for.
Because if you listen to the story,
yeah,
the man left 3 weeks.
Yes.
And the lady claimed after the wedding, and the
2
lady
months.
claims that she hooked up with the
ex once. That's what she was saying.
That was 2 weeks or 2 months after the man
had left.
Come on.
I mean, knowing how pregnancies happen.
It was just, the guy was gone for just 2 months.
You see, we act as
but what happened before you didn't marry and then there was breakup, so you got into a new relationship?
So, for example, this happens a lot. We, the young ones, maybe, let me use myself as an example. I have a girlfriend, but I don't have things going for me right now. I'm still upcoming.
Yeah.
You have a very ready-made man that comes into the picture proposing to my girlfriend. I've been with my girlfriend for a long time. She's clearly in love with me, but then she sees that, okay, I'm not yet ready for marriage, and this man is ready. Will she want to take the risk of waiting on me, or she should go into this new man? Then she'll be like, okay, why do I have to choose when I can have both?
That's a greedy person.
So she'll pander towards this man
and get the marriage,
whilst holding ties with me. And by the time I realize she's already deep in neck with this man.
But you know she's married though.
Yes. But then, you know women. Once, as Counselor said, once you've had that intimacy and long years of bonding or pairing with somebody, all it takes is both of you in a close place, and everything is ignited again.
I think character too is part.
Yes.
I think there are people that have had long relationships with exes and they can still find themselves in a space and they'll look at him and be like, nah, I'm
yes, that is where self-awareness and consciousness comes in. Sorry to generalize this, but it is not in a woman's nature, unless she makes a conscious effort to learn it, to be self-aware or self-conscious or self-reflective of her actions. Do you know a woman's primal instinct? To survive.
I mean, we have to survive now.
Yes.
Just that of the woman.
Yes. But it is so...
the human race.
No,
what would be for the man then?
Is
to protect.
Is to protect. Oh. So the reason why a woman's first instinct every time is to like, so you'd be like, you hear things like women are selfish, they only think about us. It is true, and it has a natural basis. When you compare both genders, women are the weaker species.
That one we know.
So they need, evolution has made it such that it has equipped them with certain tools that makes them to also survive in this environment. So their brain is wired in a way that they always assess situations based on how it benefits them.
Yeah, I've had this conversation with my husband. He sounds just like you all the time.
And it is not actually their fault. And that's why I said it's self-awareness. So it takes a woman that is self-aware to know that, okay, these are my primal instincts. But then there are times where you need to have ulterior motive. You need to have like sympathy and consideration for other people. It is not always about what?
About you and your primal.
So what really happened in this case is that both of them got played, but by the lady. The ex realized later on. But yet where he also endorsed was continuing. And actually, I don't believe the story where the lady was like...
They met just once.
They met just once after the marriage. I'm of the opinion that she was pregnant probably and would have even accelerated their marriage.
Or it's even possible that she was not, but she met the ex for a long period of time.
You were gone for 6 years.
Yes.
Who do you think was keeping her warm?
I mean, she was okay with the 6 years, because I don't know how I'll be here and you'll be here 6 years.
6 good years. That's even another
conversation
because since it's not the reason why she was early about. Come on, sometimes
because she did that 3 weeks to marry, so she didn't even need a 6 years.
Let's be considerate with the burdens we place on our partners. Yeah, sometimes you might travel. I'm going to work. You are going to find money.
6 years.
6. Ask any lady. Take any lady and put in her eye.
Ask me.
How do you feel during ovulation? And the story, what they will tell you. You wouldn't even leave your wife unattended for like
then
a month.
You can't leave your wife for a month because every month ovulation
happens. So it takes so much effort, discipline, and like God-fearingness for a woman to stand and be like, okay, I'm going to keep myself for my husband, very committed, because it is not easy. Sometimes society has made it most men to think that women don't have feelings.
That's if we go into that.
Yeah, they don't have a sexual urge or something.
Going to finish
but
this conversation.
Women have sexual urges. And you can't just leave her and be like, I'm 6 good years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
But do we say that women don't have that feelings or that urges? Because what we know is that it's women who will always need the attention of men, so that at least you are okay, you are comforted.
Yeah.
So that if you have that feelings, you need that attention. You carry on with whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So on the other side, to living for all these years, sometimes it becomes very difficult at that stage for a woman. As I said, you need attention. You need someone with you to be by you, and then the person is not there, especially your husband, all along. What will you do? You need, if you are committed, you can stay. If not, that is where if someone comes in, especially somebody you've dated before, comes in and then it sparks or you are on it. So that thing should be considered. At least this time, so we have for the sake of technology, it's in WhatsApp and all the messaging and hands. So you can be texting, you can be WhatsApp and all that, so that at least that feeling will be there. You see, so that contact will be there.
Yeah.
For the woman to also feel good, rather than living all along 6 years without any sort of
Our time is fast spent, but I want to ask for your final take. But before your final take, you know, social media is saying that we should add DNA testing to the vaccination of children. Councillor, what do you think? Do you think DNA testing should become mandatory? Immediately the baby drops and they are giving it, is it polio for they'll give the vaccinations and all that. They should add DNA test.
Yes, because of the way things are going on now. Society changes with time. And as you are saying, this is a typical example of what is now. Women are just going on. And also as a result of social media, things are happening. Sometimes you get glued to it and you're like, hey, so this is what is happening. Let me take it. So if they are saying that, I support it. Okay. So that when the child is born, that is also, then you are okay, you are secured in that aspect that this is my child, so I can carry on and take up my fatherly roles and go on with that protection and all that. Okay. So I support that fully.
Okay, I'm quite surprised. A lot of women fight it. So I'm happy to hear that from you. Dennis, should it be part of the... A lot of women
fight it.
Yeah.
It's only a thief that is afraid of the CCTV camera.
You there.
Yeah, on social media, lots of women were like,
if you are not a thief, why are you afraid of cameras or the CCTV?
Yeah.
So, and even as a woman, if your husband does the DNA testing and it turns out positive, it exonerates you.
Yeah. Oh, if you have nothing,
from the man's perspective.
If you have nothing to hide, so I don't even know why. If you have nothing to hide, you'll be opposed to it. And mind you, there's a legal basis to this because during the child certification, birth certification, the man appends to his name to the child.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't we confirm
before you append?
We append your name. So it is in the right direction, and I don't know why anybody that objects it.
You should go and read the thread on social media. It's hilarious. But Councillor, your final words before we go.
Yes. What I would say is that marriage is based on trust. And so we need to trust each other. We need to be faithful, no matter the circumstance, no matter the situation. The fact that you get married, remember that you are committed to each other. Now all past things are gone. Focus on the present and continue with what. Forget about exes. Please cut off from our marriages so that we don't entertain such things. So it should be based on trust, faithfulness, and then love, so that we can move on. And as the Bible says, that marriage is something that should be are done is so beautiful that we need to enjoy.
Yeah.
We need to enjoy it. It's supposed to be little heaven for us. So we should consider these things and then carry on, move on in our marriages.
Thank you. Dennis, your final words.
Okay. So I have 2 simple advices.
Okay.
One to my females and one to my males.
Okay.
So let me start with my females. As a woman, your greatest enemy is your emotions. It is your best friend and it is also your worst nemesis. If you don't keep it in check, it will ruin you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so let's be self-aware, let's be self-conscious when our emotions is leading us to distraction. Because you can build something very robust, and if you allow your emotions to reel you up, you destroy everything with your own hands. So that is for my females. To the males, as a man, it gets to a point where you have to accept things for what they are. Don't overstretch, overextend yourself for someone's mistake. When certain things happen, man up and walk away. Save your peace and save your mental health. Your mental health and peace supersedes everything in this world. If you are in a space where you are not having peace, when you are sleeping, you can't sleep well. You are always thinking. You are in turmoil or you are in cognitive dissonance. Take yourself out of that space and move on. Things will get better. That's what I have to say.
Thank you so much for coming, Counselor Esther Apau-Mannison and then Dennis Sechi Opoku, our biochemist. I hope I'll see you guys soon in the studio for another conversation. Thank you so much for coming. Before we go, I have an announcement from Hope Channel. Hope Channel is fundraising in support of the Healing Hearts Medical Mission in Tamale. We are raising funds to provide free surgeries, eye care, and dental services for people in need. Your support can change a life. So you can donate now via Zenith Bank. The name is the Hope Project, and the account number is 6010100134. 6010100134. Or you can send also through mobile money. So MTN Momo, the name is Hope Channel, and the number is 0249 193083. 0249 193083. And you can make the reference Healing Hearts into brackets HH. So let's come together and bring healing and hope to Tamale. Every donation makes a difference. I am sure you have enjoyed the conversation and you have learned a lot. I have learned a lot on DNA and DNA testing and all these situations that go on in marriage. But the most I took out of this conversation is be very self-aware, be faithful to your partner, be trusting, and do not entertain anything that could ruin your marriage. 5 minutes of pleasure, a whole marriage down the line. Is it worth it? I don't think so. And there's a child in this who'll be so confused. Was that really necessary? I don't think so. So think about your actions as you make them. And there's never the thing of, it was a mistake. I don't believe that. So we'll be back same time next week with another conversation, educational one. This is Real Talk. But until then, enjoy the rest of the content of Hope TV Ghana. My name is Evie, and I'll be back same time next week.